Hey guys, Master18 bringing you another deck list video. This next one is an Infernity deck actually. So we'll get right into it. I have 3 Infernity Beetle. Basically when you have no cards in your hand, you can special summon, you can distribute this card and special summon 2 Infernity Beetles from your deck. Next up, we have 3 Infernity Avengers. Basically, whenever an Infernity monster is destroyed, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, and its level becomes the level of the monster that was destroyed. Next up, I have 2 Infernity Archfiends. If you draw this card when you have no cards in your hand, you can special summon them. Next up, 2 Infernity Mirage. If you have no cards in your hand, you can sacrifice this card to special summon 2 Infernity monsters in your graveyard. Next up, we have 2 Infernity Necromancers. I would run 3, but I'd rather run 2. Basically, when you have no cards in your hand, you can special summon an Infernity monster from in your graveyard on your side of the field, and whenever he's summoned, he automatically switches to defense mode. Next up, I have 2 Infernity Destroyers. Whenever he destroys a monster and you have no cards in your hand, he deals your opponent 1500 points of damage. Next up, I have 3 Infernity Guardian. Whenever you have no cards in your hand, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects or by battle. Next up, we have 2 Infernity Dwarfs. Basically, I run 2 of these because when it's in your graveyard, its effect really helps out, because I run 100 Eyes Dragon in my extra deck, and it just makes for easy piercing damage. Next up, I have 2 Infernity Beasts. Whenever you have no cards in your hand and this card attacks, your opponent can't activate any spells or trap cards until after the damage step. Now we'll move on to the spell cards. I have 1 Lightning Vortex. Basically, you just ditch your card and destroys all monsters on your opponent's field. I have 2 Zero Max. Whenever you have no cards in your hand, you can select 1 Infernity monster in your graveyard and special summon it. But you have to destroy all monsters on your field that have equal to or less attack of the or attack lower. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Than the special summon monster, and but you can't conduct your battle phase whenever you activate this card. Next up, I have 2 Into the Void. You can only activate this card if you have 3 or more cards in your hand. You draw 1 card, and then during the end phase of your turn, you send this every card in your hand to the graveyard. So it combos really well with the Infernities. 1 Infernity Launcher. Once per turn, you can send 1 Infernity card from your hand to the graveyard, and you can destroy this card on your field, special summon 2 Infernity monsters from in your graveyard. 1 Giant Trunade, just because it gets rid of spells and trap cards, and it's a staple. 1 Monster Reborn, and 2 MSTs. Right, moving on to the traps, I run 3 Infernity Break. Basically, whenever you have no cards in your hand, you select 1 Infernity monster in your graveyard and remove it from play, and you can you can select 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. So it's really good. Next up, I have 2 Infernity Reflector. By discarding all cards in your hand, when an Infernity monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can select and special summon the monster that was destroyed back to your field. So it just makes it easier to get back the monster you just lost. Next up, I have 3 Infernity Force. Basically, when you have no cards in your hand, when an Infernity monster is selected as an attack target, you destroy the attacking monster, you special summon 1 Infernity monster from your graveyard. Next up, I have 2 Infernity Inferno. You discard up to 2 cards in your hand and send the same number of Infernity cards from your deck to the graveyard. 2 Reckless Greeds. Basically just because most of the cards in your deck require you to have no cards in your hand, so this just makes it easier not to to have any cards in hand, you just skip your next 2 draw phases, and you draw 2 cards. And then finally, 1 bottomless trap hole, just because I kind of like it. It's, and I only have 1, so I usually put it in my decks. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck. I have 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Red Nova Dragon, just because he works really well with Infernity Beetle, so I like to run him. 1 Infernity Doom Dragon. Whenever you have no cards in your hand, you can activate this card's effect, and you destroy 1 monster your opponent controls and deal damage equal to half of that monster's attack, so it's pretty good. 1 Frozen Fitzgerald, and finally 100 Eyes Dragon. Just basically when you have no cards in your hand, or you can have cards in your hand actually. Once per turn, you just activate its effect by removing from play 1 level 6 or lower dark monster in your graveyard, and its name is treated as that, and it gains that effect. So he's really good. Like I said, he combos well with Infernity Dwarf, just because he gives you free piercing damage. But that's it, guys. That's it for my Infernity deck. Comment, like, or subscribe if you like it. Alrighty, later.